J. Edgar Hoover, who ran the CIA, said the biggest threat to American security is a black messiah. We can't have a black messiah. We can't have a black, we gotta shut it down. CIA purposely did that. Malcolm X's family is suing the CIA right now for about $100 million for the assassination of their father. They knew it wasn't black people, it was CIA. So I think that to see somebody doing something and really thoroughly going through the plan is bringing black people, giving black people hope. You know, what he's doing is so major.
That's pretty
so
incredible.
Once we get those barriers down and all Africans from different, it's a wrap and they know it.
Yeah.
You know?
I want to take a turn because my mind went to something as you were talking about, you know, like the African countries taking it back. And I was kind of going back to adoption. About there's so many people out there who've been adopted and maybe not have anyone to speak life into them if they're feeling like maybe othered or feeling like they don't belong or don't know their origin story because they haven't had the fortune to find their, you know, their biological family. What would you say, you know, to a kid who doesn't feel like they're wanted?
So I used to run an adoption affinity group, actually, at the Oakwood School. And all the students, we would come together and have conversations. And it was amazing. It was kind of like this incredible support group. And sometimes I would bring in an adoption therapist to talk to them and to their parents, who was a professional in the field. Yeah. But also, it's what I also share with people who are adopted, and especially young people. Sometimes we don't know the circumstances of our birth parents. And my birth mother had health issues, and if she hadn't placed me in adoption, I would have been without a mother at a very young age. So it's really interesting. We get so hurt and feel unwanted and so on. Sometimes they're violent situations. Everyone has a different story about why they're placed in adoption. And I read a letter from, and I told my students this, I read a letter from my birth mother, and my birth name was Esther Elizabeth. And she said, I want Esther Elizabeth to know that placing a child in adoption is one of the hardest things in the world to do. Sure. And she said, I want her to know that I love her and I hope to meet her in heaven one day. And one of the parents of one of the adopted students said, you always share about your father's side, but could you share about that letter from your mother? She said, because I feel like sometimes our kids don't know what the birth families might be going through. So I think that's what I would share with young people and adults for that matter. We don't know. This is when I come back to what people have been through. And reading that, like, as adopted folks, we tend to feel unwanted and we need to prove ourselves. We usually adopted kids, when talking to an adoption therapist, she shared this, we either become overachievers or we act out so much. I'm going to be so great so you love me and you won't want to replace me. I'm going to act out so much to see how much you really love me. So there's like a thing that we do. A trauma. So what I'd say is, like, be great to yourself, be patient with yourself, and know that your parents probably did the best that they could. And sometimes people are born out of rape. I mean, it's a difficult situation. That's not my situation, but I'm just saying.
So many different variables with that. And, you know, I do have to ask, like, on your mother's side, she writes that beautiful letter. What happened with your father? How did your father and your mother get separated?
So my father came over from Sierra Leone. We didn't even talk about that. And to go to school in West Virginia. His brother was already there going to school.
That's how they do it.
He met my mother and they spent the summer together. He didn't know she was pregnant. She didn't know she was pregnant. He had gone back to school in another part of West Virginia. She reached out and she said, I'm pregnant, but he goes, okay, so what should we do? And she said, you should stay in school. I'm going to take care of her. And he said, okay. She kept me for 9 months. And then she said, you know, this is too hard. I think we should really give her to a family who can give her everything she needs. You're away in school. You should stay. And I think this is too hard. So that's when I was adopted. And I said to my birth father, if there's a day that goes by that you feel guilty, please don't. Because you've given me one of the best families in the world.
Man, for real.
And now I'm going to get to know you too. So how do we do this?
How does your adopted father and your father, I'm gonna call it your bonus father.
So I call my father and my dad.
Your father and your dad.
Yes.
And how do they get along now?
Oh, great. I took them over. I took my parents
Oh, that's
to
great.
meet my birth family in Sierra Leone, and it was magical. And they've traveled the world, so they were so helpful. They were probably more comfortable than I was the first time meeting everybody, because I was like kind of overwhelmed by everything.
Yeah.
But they were just.
This is your uncle. This is your cousin.
This is everyone's
And they're
like,
speaking Mandy. She don't even know it.
Right? It was wonderful. And my mom, who was an educator, she's since passed away, but she actually was doing we were doing classes with the kids. It was so fun. It was so special.
So your adoptive mom passed away?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Both my birth mother and my adoptive, and my mom who raised me both have passed away.
Okay.
So my dad and my birth father are still alive.
around. Okay.
It's not
Look at
interesting.
that. That's wild.
Usually it happens the other way around.
The other way around.
That's crazy. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I had this, just hearing your story makes me think about, my childhood and just growing up. And, I remember just like getting into some silly fights. I think, I've talked about it, where you're telling other kids, oh, you African, this, African, this. It's like, but you're African too. No, my mama from Louisiana. I'm Creole. I'm this. I'm that. It's just I got Indian in my blood. That was the thing.
See the baby hair?
Yeah, you see the baby hair?
See the baby hair? That's Choctaw. That's Choctaw. That's Choctaw.
Yeah, Choctaw. Yeah, right.
That's Choctaw.
They would just say all these different things. I'm going, oh, okay, but you're like, you look, and so there's this separation, and just how cool would it be? And what do you think? Do you think every Black American should try to find out their roots? Because what if we are amongst a bunch of royals and we don't even know it? Like, it'd be cool if some of my homies from school, and I'm like, man, I didn't know I was supposed to be calling you sir this and, Prince this. It makes me wonder how many other people are from royal families and don't even know it.
Or even just royal or not, just amazing.
Where are you from? Where's your family?
We all are.
But we call each other king anyway.
That's right.
What's up, king? What's up, queen? We gonna tack it on anyway. Call me Lord, dog.
Well, you know what's so funny is I see people. There was a woman I saw the other day, and I'm like, "Where's your family from? You look just like my family. Where's your family from?" I said, "My family's from Sierra Leone." She goes, "Well, I'm from Louisiana, but maybe I am." She was so excited.
That's crazy.
So it was just like people want to know.
Course,
it's just like there's been a disconnect.
Yo, it's finally here.
Yes.
We are dropping our lifestyle merch. 154 is here. It's hot. Come get it.
Bam.
Ain't no place like home.